Found the
Just
kidney issue, you know.
Yeah.
Still waiting to find the silver lining on the thumb. Hey, we're up. We're rocking.
All right.
We're
All
up.
right. Well, welcome to Elite Ageless Mindset. I'm Nick Best, and this is Jon Andersen. Here we are again.
We're here every week, everyone. Here every week to share our like 8+ decades of doing this. That's a long time. Yeah, we're both four decades north and basically consistent the whole time, which that's going to put us in a very small school of people. But what we're doing is we're trying to share the stuff that's made this easier for us. We simplify things, which makes it easier, not easy, easier. And today we're actually going to talk about, some real life stuff. I mean, Nick and I are both going through, like, I was just finishing up a training session. I'm dealing with a little bit of a shoulder issue. Nick is too. And so this is a great topic for us to talk about. We can make progress always. It just may not be in the exact path we were hoping for.
Right.
So Nick, I mean, like, I'll just go a little further. My shoulder, like today, I got really warmed up, and I realized for flat pressing today, I wasn't going to be using nearly the weight that I was hoping for, but I was able to squeeze the muscle, get some good training without re-inflaming my shoulder, which allows me to keep moving forward. So, Nick, you're dealing with a shoulder issue too. Talk about that.
Yeah. So my right shoulder, because I hold a lot of firearms out extended, helping people.
Big ones.
Yeah, big ones. Helping people shoot their firearms without hurting themselves or other people. It puts kind of like an impingement in my shoulder, and it overworks a couple strains of my deltoid. So my massage therapist digs in there pretty good. She actually is now coming up in through my armpit, which has made a really big difference and has released a lot of it. I'm still really careful when I'm benching. I'm still super careful.
I'm gonna have to play with that, by the way. I'm gonna take that and play with that, by the way.
Yeah,
sure.
And then I found another way of getting it where I loop my arm over the bar and I kind of squat down onto it and rotate like this till I find the spot where it's knotted up, and I can get to it a little bit. Not as good as she can, but I can get to it a little bit so that on off days, kind of every other day type of thing, I get working into that so that it doesn't completely stop my movement from my shoulder. My range of mobility is still there, which is good. It's also loosening up my lat as well, which on that side, my lat's really tight. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone, which is really nice. But with training and injury, you don't stop training. You just train around it or to the best of your ability. Blood in and blood out.
That's exactly what I had to do this morning. It was just, there's really no way for me to train around that press. Even a fly hurt it. Like, okay, if I'm going to get a little aggravation, I might as well stick inside my pathway, just lighten the weight, find a slide to really flare my elbows, which is not a practice that we normally do. But that's what gave my shoulder the relief to do exactly what you said.
Right. And then you get the blood in and the blood out, and that's what creates the healing, because, these things heal super slow if you don't get any blood into them. And that's a major thing. And people don't really get that. The doctors like me, how'd you heal so fast? Well, I didn't sit around and do nothing. I just was very careful with the movements that I do, because doctors want you to sit there and not do anything. It's like, no. Get moving.
Well, you made a great point, brother. Think of like this, guys. Blood flow is like nourishing that area. It's like feeding that area. It needs that blood flow. It needs everything. The circulation represents so many healing properties. So just remember, being a lot of times when a doctor tells you to do nothing, he's doing the best he can to keep you from hurting yourself further. But what he really needs to be saying is probably just not. It's not a practice, as we know. It needs to be saying, look, you need to be moving it, but just making sure you're not dinging anything. Just keep the thing moving and keep the blood flowing is the best plan of attack. But
move it to the best of your ability through that range.
100% best real. Let's do this though. We obviously both talked about our shoulders. Let's just go backwards. Like I only have to go back 2 weeks to find another thing that I dinged up. I was doing some pull-ups, the tail end of my workout, and I stretched out the brachialis right here to the point where a couple of days after I had a hard time drinking a glass of water. I dinged it pretty good.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, of course, I didn't stop training, stopped doing pull-ups for a little while.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't going to go back to that same well, but I was able to find plenty of back exercises where I could basically keep that damaged area out of the equation. So go backwards for you, brother. I know both of us keep going backwards. We can just constantly find shit that we dinged up, but the common thread is that we didn't stop no matter what it was.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like with the thumb, I mean, and breaking my thumb so bad. I mean, first thing out of the gate, even though I couldn't even touch my middle finger with my thumb, I kept touching my index finger over and over and over throughout the day till I could touch my middle finger. And then I would keep doing that till I could touch my ring finger. And then from that to my pinky finger. And I just kept working those till eventually I could get to the pad on my pinky finger, which is full range of motion for a thumb. So you're working things, you're getting blood into areas that wouldn't have, normally have blood in it. And then doing things like just doing the best I can, squeezing a water bottle, a full water bottle, a half full water bottle, an empty water bottle, stuff like that. And just keep working it till your grip starts coming back and your thumb the thumb healing. And it was excruciating it sometimes, but I didn't push it so bad that it caused more damage. I would just take it to where I had the ability to. And then like icing and swelling and stuff like that, I grabbed a really cold can of Red Bull out of the thing because it fit perfectly in my hand. And I would just sit there and hold on to that and then ice my thumb with it while I was at work doing things. So I'm doing rehab, even though I'm busy working and doing things. I was working and registering, standing there greeting people. But there's always a way to keep doing some stuff. And then Dr. Gray looks at me, he's like, you're good to go. He goes, never seen that before. I should have had a camera following you and everything that you were doing. He goes, you took this seriously. You did the rehab. I went to my physical therapist. I did all the things I'm supposed to do. And he's just like, it's unheard of, especially at your age, the way you just heal from that. And I'm like, well, I take it seriously and I try to do everything every minute of the day that I can do to get this better. So it's just that plain and simple.
It's a mindset. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, one of the things, I have a few different little mantras, things that I'll say to myself in these challenging times, and I'll remind myself listen, it doesn't have to be my best day. It just has to be another day I show up, and like today was one of those days where I was like really in question what was going to happen once I started training. And of course I'm like, damn it. I was hoping for a little more. Then I straightened my head out real quick. Hey, it's okay. Doesn't have to be my best day to have a good workout. My chest is going to be sore as a mother because I was squeezing the shit out of it with some lighter weights. But the difference between doing that and getting frustrated and not doing it is massive.
Yeah. Massive. It makes all the difference. It's don't give in to the frustration. Just back off a few notches of it and do the best you can that day without causing damage. It's all it is. All you're trying to do is get it moving, get blood through the area, get the healing to start occurring, and then slowly, methodically build back to where you were and get you better.
And bro, let's you said something that's really, really helpful. You said without doing damage. Let's break down this whole. Okay. There's so many people. Don't be a pussy. Push through the pain. There's different types of pain that we need to discuss here. Okay, if you have a problem or an injury, or even if it's there's you're hurt and you're injured. Hurt is kind of what we're talking about, non-surgery shit. Then there's injured. Well, you got to go get surgery to get it fixed. If you're dealing with something that's joint, something that's non-muscle, let's call it. That's an easy way to break it down. You want to deal with muscle discomfort. You want to push through muscle pain. You want to push through just overall, just general discomfort of not wanting to go to the gym. That's where don't be a pussy, push through the pain makes sense. But when you're talking about something where you can you're pushing through pain that's going to create more damage to a joint, more damage to a ligament, more damage to a tendon that's going to keep you from getting back on track, that's not pussy stuff. That's called smart stuff. So really, really, because God knows we've all been exposed to it. People, especially the gym bros. The gym bros like to just tell you need to push through anything.
Or some of the coaches.
Yeah, that's true. But when it comes down to it, you can push through the day without pushing through the pain of something that's going to make it worse. Like you said a minute ago, without making it worse. That is so key. Like if my exercise today made my shoulder worse, I did myself a disservice. So there's no way I was going to let that happen. I wanted to work those muscles and not take my shoulder backwards. So that's the thing you got to remember, guys. This whole push through it. What are you pushing through? Some things you're not supposed to push through.
No, not at all. I mean, you have to really understand and think, where you're sitting. And it's like, yeah, you have goals that you want to achieve, but you're not going to achieve those goals if you can't function. And if you're doing things, and yeah, you want to get in there and you want to push, take all that energy and put it into doing a lighter movement that causes no pain on that, or not even necessarily no pain, but no aggravation to it, no damage to it, and get that workout in. Because even though it's not the weight that you want, the goal in the end is to hit a number 5 months from now. The goal isn't to hit it right there in that day. So heal up and get going to where you're going to be able to get that number later. Because if you damage it even worse, then you put it off another month. Then you add another month. Then you add another month. Because every time you have to rehab it, it's going to take another month or 2 months to get over it. Better to spend the time correctly once than keep constantly doing it over years.
Yes. And let's also kind of go a little deeper into, okay, let's just say you're warming up. You're like, let's use our shoulders. We're warming up. We know we got an issue. We're trying to get the best work we can. So what I really try to gauge, and I'm really curious how you do it in your mind, brother, because we both do the same thing, just in our own way, is it's okay for me to feel it. I know it's there. But as soon as it starts to change any pathway of my body, any movement, now it's actually, there's some sort of discomfort that I'm not able to stay in the position I want to be in. That's where I cut it.
Right. I'll try to do it slightly guarded. And if it still doesn't feel right, then I just drop the weight, get some blood into it, and move on to the next thing. And then do the same thing on the next exercise. Do the same thing on the next one. And if I'm feeling it, then I cut it back. If I don't feel it, then I move through what I normally would do.
And that's another thing too, brother. I've said, like today, I was doing just flat dumbbell presses, and I found a groove where I was okay. This doesn't hurt. I'm able to push high reps. There wasn't a single set less than 20, but I was able to push, get a really challenging sets that were burning. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try to find another pathway that's going to give me this type of freedom. I'm going to stay here. So I just stayed. My whole workout was that same movement because I was in a place where I knew I could get those muscles work. If I was to switch, I may have not regained that position of being able to work my chest without dinging my shoulder. So that's something to take into consideration. If you're like in that place where like, God, I got a groove here, just ride it out.
Yeah. Just finish your workout in that groove and get back to healing and move it around, stretch it around, like actively work the range of motion on it on days that you're not training to increase the mobility of it. Take 10, 15 minutes in a day. That's all you got to do. Like at work, I'll have to sit on trap for an hour twice a day, watching people, making sure they're safe. But I'll sit there and stretch while I'm doing it. I can watch them and still get stretches in. And it's greatly helped my mobility in my hips and stuff from doing that. And just
the multitasking is great. I'm sitting here right now with I stretch my hamstrings anytime I'm in my podcast desk. In the studio. I got a chair right on the other side of the desk, and I've got one leg up there at all times because why not make progress on two fronts?
Right. And you can focus, so that's good.
Yeah.
Some 100%. People can't focus when they do that, but it's okay. I mean, it's multitasking when you're stuck doing some things is okay. As long as you're there and accomplishing the goals that are supposed to get done, that's all that matters. If I'm making sure people are safe and I can stretch at the same time, that's okay. So
let's talk about one more element of this whole injury thing, right? Because, I know I always make the joke with myself. What's that? Patience? Yeah, that's one I was born short on too. You know, but here's the thing and I know for me for sure, this has actually been a part of my 40 years of training, is that some people not so much, but when you look at it like this, I think it all kind of helps us all to a certain extent if we've actually created the habit of getting to the gym regularly. So when I bang myself up, what it's really doing is it's kind of peeling back what I can do, which realistically gives my body the chance to kind of catch up. So when you do something like this, don't look at it from try to look at it from the positive side right away. Like, oh shit, I bang this up. Well, I'm gonna have to work around it, which means that on a week-to-week basis, I'm not gonna be able to put the same type of effort in, or maybe you're putting the effort in, but you're not able to put the same amount of work in, which then is going to give the body a chance to catch up a little bit. So sometimes these we're a little banged up can be extraordinarily helpful.
Yeah, a lot of people call it deload week or whatever, or rest week or an active rest week. Remember, rest is just as important as the training.
Yes.
So, downtime is important. And when you strain something, your body's like, hey, you've been killing it. And now we're going to take a little rest, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
So you find ways to back off the weight, train around it, get work in, still giving your body a rest, because you're not pushing it hard. You're just getting things moving and blood flowing and stuff like that. You're not coming after it like 100%. You're coming after it like 30, 40%, which your body's going to be fine with. It'll heal from that. It takes the time off. Then all of a sudden you're rested up, you're healed up, and you come back stronger. That's why, going into a powerlifting meet or a strongman contest, all the last really heavy stuff's done like 2 to 3 weeks out. And then the week before, you're going through the motions, but the weights are like cut in half, and then you get out there, and that's when you should be at your healthiest when you're competing. So for strong,
that's a good point, brother. People don't understand the type of recovery. Like when it comes to like heavy deadlifting coming to a competition, the last time you're going to lift heavy is going to be somewhere in, the closest you would ever do it would be like, 17 days out. A lot of times guys won't deadlift heavy for a full 3 weeks prior to a competition.
Yeah. Unless you're Mitchell Hooper.
There's always the exceptions to the rules.
Then you go the day before and still go.
Yeah. That's a whole different topic, a whole different show for sure. But
guy's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. But ultimately that recovery is key. So if, don't make the mistake. Like I used to make this a ton when I was younger. I bang something up. Oh, I'm just going to put all this extra work over here. Well, then all I'm doing is putting the other part of my body under strain and probably going to bang something up over there, when what I really needed to do was just let the body catch up. So, and I get it. We get in these grooves where we're like, oh, it feels so good. And we're go. And, but don't fall victim to trying to do too much.
Right.
Like the training that we give you guys, there's a lot to do there, So, if your body is needing a break because you bang something up, just keep doing what we've got for you and let the body heal up. The key is just keep going, work around whatever the problem is, but don't try to invest more energy and more time and more work into a different part of the body. Talk about how that could backfire, brother.
Well, yeah, because your balance isn't right. The way everything functions together isn't working right because one part's off, and then you end up overloading or lifting it crooked and causing another problem. Like if your shoulder's messed up and you're trying to squat heavy and the bar is cockeyed on your back, you're going to be cockeyed at the bottom of your squat, and that's not good. So you find ways to train around it, and your body's telling you it needs a little bit of a break. And people will call it a deload week, people call it a rest week, people call it active rest. There's many different names for the same thing. So,
isn't that the truth? Think about when we started.
I'm going to reinvent this, and like, no,
dude, that's when we started. There was kind of one name for everything,
right? And
goddamn, times have changed.
You got people selling everything, and they got to change the names on everything.
That's it.
It's the same thing. So you just train light that week, train around it, including the other part of your body. Just come in and have a week where you cut everything way down to maybe 30-40%, go through the workout, get your training in, get the blood flowing, because the blood's what's going to create the healing, and get the blood flowing and get on with the week. And it's going to be funny because you'll come back the next week and feel way better.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be your best day. It just needs to be another day where you show up.
Yeah. And put the work in.
That's it. And speaking of showing up, guys, we're here every week doing this live stream for you guys to just check out. Like, we're always talking some good motivational shit, talking about tips and ways to make this easier. But for those of you guys that are wanting to get some coaching, that are, especially for you that are those of you that are having trouble financially, because God knows we know that the economy is getting tight. We have got a really, really good setup for you guys. So if you want to check it out, click the link below. You got a 7-day free trial. But Nick and I, we want to literally take what we've learned and open it up, make it so accessible for anybody that wants to learn. So,
and teach you how to deal with the other situations, because
yes,
a lot of the other coaching doesn't go, oh, okay, well, this is what you did. Now, these are the things you need to follow when that happens. That's what these are about. So,
yeah.
Also, leave comments. Let us know what you have interest in and things you want us to talk about as well. Doesn't hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that being said, everyone, there's another week in the bank. So Nick, what's the words of wisdom? Do you want me to start, or do you want to start it this time?
I'll start it this time, I guess. Words of wisdom. Listen to your body and train around things. Do it just enough to where you're not creating more damage, that you're just getting blood in and create healing. And be patient.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm just going to wrap that up with, or just remember, it doesn't have to be your best day. It just needs to be another day where you show up and put in a little effort. That's it. So,
all right.
That being said, everyone, thank you for checking us out. And we will be here next week, same time, same place, whether you like it or not. Have a great Sunday, everyone.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was a good one, I think, brother, because especially the whole push through pain. I think that's so misunderstood.
Yeah, completely misunderstood. You do that in a